What's going on YouTube? My name is Dom, and in this video here today I'm going to be talking about the new meta, well not the new meta, but the new changes that have come into this Ghost War. You know, some things that I haven't addressed. I've been able to sit on this update for a week and actually feel everything out and figure out exactly how each class has changed individually as well as a whole, and how we can go ahead and play in the future to be more successful with the new changes that they brought in. Now in my last video, if you guys watched that one, that is one of my most controversial videos that I've put out in recent memory. Now with that, we had a lot of people saying that they agreed with me, and then I had a lot of people who disagreed with me, thought it was great. I've had an opportunity to sit on this for a week. I've been playing it for a week, and I am very happy with the game, how it is, especially if it's going to attract more people. And I'm going to kind of go over the changes that were made in my eyes and give you my input as to how you can be successful with these changes going forward in the future. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's hop right into the video. When Special Operations 2 update came out last week, you know, I think we were all kind of hit with that initial, holy fuck, what the hell do we do with all of this stuff? We're just getting slapped in the face with all of this new content, and it's going to take a while to adjust, and I do agree with that. I made that video last week where I was pretty upset about a lot of things that they brought in, but now that I have time to mold it over and actually play and see how these things are used in a functional scenario, my opinion has changed quite a bit. Please let me know if yours has as well. Now there's a few things I wanted to discuss in this video, but I just have to say that I think every single class in this game basically changed the way that they play slightly, or changed their rankings on an overall ranking system. I'm hoping to coming out with a ranking video ranking all of these new changes and whatnot, how the classes stand up in that way. So I'm going to basically go through each of the categories: support, marksman, and assault, figure out how they changed, as well as how to play them and how to play against them effectively in order to counter them. So I'm going to start off at the bottom of the list. We have the support classes, of course. Now the supports, I would think, received the biggest changes overall. Of course, they got the best guns in the game. They got more of them as well. On the scout, you have a 9mm C1. Of course, it's in the form of the Experimental 42, which the biggest complaint I hear on that one is the iron sight. Personally, I like the iron sight, but I understand how it can be difficult to land shots with it. But if you get decent with that weapon, or if you use it in third person, basically no one in this game is going to be able to pressure you in close quarter situations. You can lock down a straightaway. You can lock down those close quarter situations effortlessly. Now the artillery got the SR635, which I didn't really think he needed. He already had the 9mm C1, but now the SR635 is there for people who weren't good with the 9mm C1 and still want a melty gun. That's what the SR is. Now this SR is very accurate. It doesn't have a ton of extreme recoil. You can use it at distance pretty effectively. It's just an overall great weapon. It's probably the best weapon in the game for close quarters or even mid-range situations. So basically buff to the artillery. Diversionist really didn't change all that much. So Medic got the Mendeleev, which I think is his best weapon that he got. Of course, I do like the Type 95. His PP19 is still very good, but the Mendeleev is very powerful. I've seen teams get mowed down and wrecked by that thing. Now Gorilla G2 got a buff, which I think is awesome. I've heard his SR3M is good. I haven't really played with it too much. And Toxic, of course, has the SR635, as well as some decent AR options. The support classes basically got added protection. That's really all they got, because if you look at the weapons that they received, those weapons are very difficult to use at mid to long ranges. They have slow fire rates. They do pack a hell of a punch though, and they are incredibly effective within 60, possibly 80 meters, depending on how good you are with the weapon. You can also mow people down from a distance, but in all true honesty, you know, if people are at a distance with it, you have to burst the hell out of it, and those people have to be standing in the completely wide open in order for you to kill anybody with it. Of course, unless you get a headshot, but at distance, you know, that it does become increasingly difficult. So the biggest thing that I was thinking before, and that a lot of people were thinking, was what is the point of running an assault anymore if you have these supports? And the purpose of the assaults is to have the middle to long range game completely down. They have faster fire rates, so they can deal a little bit more damage a little bit more quickly. They're more punishing if you get caught from the side or from behind. And so I'm going to go over the assaults next. Now Surgeon was a welcome change. I'm going to be doing a Wildlands tips video about him, so I'm not going to talk too much about him in this video. The Echelon, I feel like, is one of the top assault operators now in the game. With the M4A1, that thing is very good. If you can control the recoil on it, it is very closely related to the AK-12. Right now I feel like it's just an AK-12 with a with a hell of a lot of recoil. Right now, if you can control that, you are going to dominate with Echelon. His SC4000 was decent. It was very, very accurate. Just didn't do a lot of damage. Now you have the what do they call it? The kills to pay the bills or some shit like that. But that's what you have with the Echelon. Now, I did want to talk about tech as well, because I feel like tech actually got fucking viable weapons. I know people were saying, oh, the 9x19 is so good and people love that thing. I fucking hate it. I think it's garbage. The 6P41 is an awesome LMG. Well, it's not awesome, but it's usable. That's all I fucking wanted from tech, was a usable weapon that you could poke people with, that you could feel comfortable getting into a gunfight with. And we got that with tech. And the MK17 Tiger Fang, not my cup of tea, but I've heard a lot of people like it. I'm not a big fan of it, but the 6P41 is definitely a fucking weapon that I'm going to be using. Now, at the top, one of the top assault operators that I still have seen yet to be used, it has to be tank. I think people are stuck in that old meta still, where they're running Point Man, Predator, Disruptor with 2 drones or possibly 1 drone and 3 assaults. But none of them are fucking tank ever, even though I think tank has to be one of the best assault operators, if not the best now. He has the best health bonus, which makes the most difference when you're going up against these new melty guns on the support operators. As well, his weapons aren't as good as the AK-12, the M16, or the TAR-21, but his weapons can hit hard if you know how to use them. The R4, of course, is always a good weapon. His new one that he got, I'm not going to even try to fucking pronounce it because I'm going to ruin it. That one's only a burst or a single fire, but it can do a lot of damage. The MK249 is definitely a decent LMG with hardly any recoil. It is a very good weapon. But now tank is just ever present as one of the most powerful operators in this game. You know, aside from the fact that he can counter drones pretty well, that he can completely counter the recon tower, it is just, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't want to have tank on your team. That's pretty much it for the assault operators and how they changed. I think basically it made other operators more effective than the typical meta. Now you have tech, tank, and Echelon up at the top is some of the ones that you want to bring into every gunfight. Now, as far as the marksmen go, they got fucking jumbled up like nobody's business. As far as the best marksman operator, I have to go with Stalker. Stalker got, I think, the biggest buff and the best change. I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more in a Wildlands Tips Revisited video about Stalker, but the SR25 on the Stalker completely makes this class the go-to, in my opinion. I always run mirrored marks, so when people mark me, they're on a weird mark, and it just makes it so effective. Now, with the SRSA-1, you know, when you shot people, that thing had crazy bullet drops, so you had to be very, very good with that weapon. With the SR25, there's almost no bullet drops, so you can aim directly on targets that are 350 meters out and hit them, and then you can hit them again incredibly quick, faster than you ever could with the SRSA-1. And it's even better that that enemy teams will not get sound markers if they are outside of 90 meters. Same with the SRSA-1. It is, of course, loud, but then the enemy team's not going to be getting sound markers for that weapon, which is fucking crazy. Trapper got a huge buff as well. I feel like he's actually viable now. He is not at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to the classes anymore, because he got the PP19 that does hollow point damage, as well as the D50 in his back pocket. This is definitely a class that almost doubles as an assault. He's basically an assault without the health bonus. He can trap up buildings very nicely. He can trap recon towers, bodies, restock, whatever you need to, and the class is incredibly versatile now. I feel like it's just absolutely awesome. That is pretty much it in terms of how it goes for the marksman operators. Of course, Enforcer got the G28. I don't really find that great. The Ranger got the AK-47, which is good for mid to close range engagements. And then the Sniper got the L11A3, I believe it's called, which essentially is a quick scoping rifle in this game. I found it's good at close to medium range on the sniper rifle if you're going to be trying to quick scope people, but not exceptionally powerful at long range. These are kind of my thoughts now about how this game has changed, as well as how to play these characters. And the biggest thing that I find is the difference between the assault and the support. I still find a reason to run a lot of assault game. Well, not a lot of assault game, but to run at least 1, maybe 2 assaults per squad loadout that I have, is because of their effectiveness at middle to long ranges. The supports are going to excel in the close range engagements, but the assaults are going to excel in the middle to long range engagements, and those are the best things that I found with them. Please let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, if you are new, make sure you subscribe, and if you did enjoy the video, please drop me a like. Of course, share your feedback, your thoughts, your opinions down in the comment section below. Would love to have a discussion with you guys, see what you guys have to say. But anyway, stay tuned to the channel. I got a bunch of new videos coming out I'm so excited for. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.